Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to go over the 6 ways that people can build their credit and keep their credit going really well. It's not about just building their credit, it's also about maintaining it, right? And these are the 6 different accounts that all the wealthy people I know have had or have right now to build their credit and maintain a very positive and healthy cash flow for their personal and business life. Let's get into it. The 6 different accounts, to fix credit, avoid debt, and build long-term wealth automatically. So what is this about really? Like I see a lot of our clients come with bad credit. They set themselves up for failure without even knowing it, and they make mistakes in the past. And it's usually about missing the right steps and having the things kind of in place. And these aren't things that like only wealthy people have access to. It's pretty much open to the general public, right? There are requirements depending on a few things, but it's not nothing that you need a ton of money to get into it, right? You may have that all of these options available today. And these 6 different accounts, right? I'm talking about savings, high yield, and HSAs, etc. They help you build credit automatically. They prevent emergencies, right? So these accounts can help you when you are basically in a pickle because life happens. You have emergencies and all these situations that you never could think of happening, and here we are. And they also provide long-term tax advantage wealth for you and your family. So what are the 6 accounts? The first one, and the order is important here. So having it in this order is ideal. At least the first 3 for sure, and the fourth one, but the last 2, you can probably move those around, right? So the high yield savings account, I'm talking about the ones that offer like 3 to 5% in savings for the year, right? It's basically better than the 0.001% the regular checking account gives you. So these are incredibly powerful. All credit cards, secured, unsecured, charge, etc., all of them, you need to have them. The FICO 8 scores, it really needs a lot of accounts to give you that high score. 401ks, that's where you can get a lot of the free money. We'll get into that. Roth IRAs, that's basically free tax advantage money, pretty much. And a health savings account, which I'll get into, and then a regular brokerage account. So a high yield savings account. What is that all about? High yield savings account, right? One of the first things I tell my clients that actually, and we help them build credit, is basically don't mess up, right? And how can you put yourself in a position to do that? You want to be able to have a really good savings account. Well, Paulo, I can't build credit, or I'm sorry, I can't build a savings account out of money. You need to figure it out. You got to reduce expenses and try to earn more money. You got to figure things out. So get a second job, whatever else that you can do to get more money. I'm a limited income. Okay, you need to figure it out. This video is not about that. You need to get to $1,000 in savings as soon as possible, and then the ideal goal is to get 3 to 6 months of expenses, right? Monthly expenses to live your life. If it's like $3,000, you need to get for 3 months first, you want to get to $9,000, and then you get to $18,000. You want to be able to do automatic transfers. I talked about this the other day in my other video. You want to be able to automatically do this. You don't want to rely on yourself to go in. I'm going to transfer $50 this week and the next week 25. No, just find a set amount that you can do weekly and just get it going. That way it's done for you. You don't have to think about it. The benefit of having a high yield savings account is you get to earn interest 4 to 5% in a year. And if something were to happen in your life, you got a flat tire, you couldn't go to work, you got into an accident, need to pay a deductible, you got sick for a week, you couldn't get paid because it was you don't have the time off, etc., etc. And now you need to go into that savings, right? And you can pull money so you can pay your cards, you can pay your rent, and you don't have to be late on your car payment, things that can hurt your credit. So that's why you want to have a savings account, and a high yield savings account allows you to earn some extra cash there on the side as well. You don't want to keep all your money in the checking account where you see the visibility. A lot of people tend to just basically spend all that money, and you end up spending it on stuff that you really don't need a lot of times these days, non-emergencies. So that's account number one. Account number two, the types of accounts, credit cards, whether you're doing credit builder, credit cards, secured cards, unsecured cards, wherever you are in your journey, you want to be able to build your credit quickly, right? And credit cards are one of the best ways to do that. You get a card, start at $500, $1,000 with a secure card, and you start using it, and you pay it, wait for the statement date so you have a limit so that it is reported on your credit report, and then you pay it off within the next 21 days typically. That's the goal. So you never pay interest on that card, but you are using it, right? That's what the creditors want to see. About 35% of your credit score is based on the ability to pay back, especially on time. So this is critical, using it and paying it off. Uh, And also the benefits of having a credit card compared to like a debit card is you have protection like fraud protection. A lot of times if they can catch it for you ahead of time, and a lot of times they will do their investigation and get your money back, right? And then once you have a higher tier card, let's say like a Chase Freedom card, a lot of high cash back and points cards, miles cards, you can get paid to use these cards as long as you don't get interest. You have a lot of benefits, right? Most people, unfortunately, don't have the skills to get a lot of the cash back, and this is your opportunity to build on those skills, right? Start small so you can make better decisions at a higher level. You don't want to carry balances and make payments. You don't want to make minimum payments only. You ideally want to pay everything off, and then you overspending just to get points doesn't make sense, right? You only get like 1% or 1.5% typically in points back from whatever you spend. And the points are really connected to the, like you basically 1.1 cent typically as well for cashback and a lot of the points systems that they have. And you don't want to be, let me buy this to get more points. And no, that doesn't make sense. You're really spending 100 times more for the value. It's not worth it. The next type of account that you want to basically get free money here is your 401k or 403, depending on where you work. So the point of this ideally is having a great employer match, right? I know many companies up there that will give you 100% employee match or even stock options, right? That's a little bit more complex, but basically the employee match, if you put in 5% and they match up to 5%, they basically match every dollar you put in there. So let's say you put in $100 a week, they're gonna match you $100 a week, and it grows tax free until you need to take it out whenever you retire. So that's free money. Where else are you going to get a one-to-one ratio like that, right? A lot of companies may cap it at 2% or 4%, something, it's usually between 2 or 1 and like 5 is very, 90% of the companies out there, but that's free money. And that's one that you can use a 401k money later on as a loan, as an emergency funds in a way too. That's not ideal, but you do have the option. The best way is just keep the money growing in the market. And that money also you want to be able to invest in low cost index funds, right? ETFs based on the S&P 500. Uh, and then one of the things that you want to avoid doing is delaying your enrollment into these programs, right? Not wait a year, two, three, four, because that's all money that you could have had, right? Free money, especially the employee match, right? You don't want to put your money in a high fee fund, so you want to look through the cost to that these managed ETFs funds charge. You don't want one that's ideally less than 0.1% per year. That's a big benefit of that. And then the other thing too is you don't want to leave old accounts behind as you go from employer to employer. You can roll it over typically for free. Just open the new, if you move to a new company, have a new brokerage with them, you can typically roll over the money for 1K free. Just gotta do the paperwork and eventually be transferred. The next account you should have is the Roth IRA. This is a huge benefit for people that's making under $150,000 a year. The maximum that you can put in is 7,000 a year, and the best way to do it is automatic contributions as well. You want to invest in broad index funds, VOO, SPY, basically S&P 500 stocks, ETFs. And the huge benefit of this is you are not taxed on a single dollar that you put in or you withdraw if you withdraw after 5 years of putting it in or you are retired. So super powerful. I max it out for myself every year, for my wife. And there's a couple of rules here, but basically you need to be making enough money. If you make over $7,000 a year, you can put money in there. You can't do this for your kids because they need to be earning their money as well. The big mistakes that I see with this is people basically, you can transfer money into these Roth IRAs, but you actually have to go yourself and manually buy them a lot of times. Mutual funds, you can do it, set it up automatically, but the ETFs in particular, you have to put it in, $50, $100, whatever you do, and then you need to buy the stock that way. The other thing too is since you are in control, you don't want to be panic selling. COVID comes through, Trump puts in a tariff or whatever happens out there. You don't want to sell in those periods. That's when it dips the strongest, and you think your money's going to disappear. It's not, but it feels that way. That you don't want to sell that, right? And then poor time your contributions. That means basically you can't time the market. You don't want to be playing with it. Just set it up automatically every week or every bi-week, and you will be sending the money in. So whether you have like a 4 week or a better week, overall in the end, the dollar cost averaging is very powerful for you. Triple tax advantage, the HSA, your health savings account, very powerful, right? This is one of the only accounts where the money you put in, it grows tax free and you can withdraw tax free for health spending, right? So you need to have a high deductible health plan so that you can get earn money in this. If you have a PPO plan or a HMO plan, typically this is not part of that. The spending plan is different for those. You can invest in funds, you can, and basically you want to be paying medical costs from these accounts, but it does grow tax free. So over time, it get compounds, right? It is an extra retirement tool to some degree. Eventually, you can pull money out of it and just pay the regular taxes on it, but long-term capital gains taxes. But it's really meant to have as a buffer for money, right? Kind of like the health savings, but for medical stuff, which can get very expensive if you have a high deductible health plan. Some of the deductibles are really high. You don't want to be spending the money immediately. You want to make sure that you're investing it in ETFs, and you really got to be careful with high fees. A lot of the providers may charge a lot, so just do a little bit of due diligence on them. And the last but not least, the sixth account, the brokerage account. This is basically the normal brokerage account. Charles Schwab, Vanguard, things that I have personally. And you want to be using them for S&P 500 stocks as well. You can use them for international stocks as well, whatever you want. You want to be a little bit of crypto, fine, do a little bit of crypto. I don't recommend a lot of there, but it's just play with your risk. But the brokerage account is basically one of the accounts that you can do whatever you want with it, right? The tax benefits are over the long term, if you hold the stock for over a year, the capital gains are are taxed lower at the long term versus the earned income. There are no contribution limits to this, and you can put it buy in as much as you want pretty much. And the things that I would avoid with these accounts are day trading. You don't want to be working on these accounts. Dollar cost averaging is an easy way to go with decent returns. You don't want to be emotionally investing, not buying one week and not buying another, and then selling, and then chasing hype. You don't want to be going after companies that they're on the news that just blowing up, it's like oh, like gold and silver recently. Those are commodities, but it's the same idea. Like it's going up like crazy. Oh, panic buying because it's going up. And you don't have to open all of these accounts at the same time. Open them one by one. Try it in that particular order, perhaps. Maybe number six would be number four, etc. Whatever is easy for you, because everybody's in a different place. You want to be able to automate as much as you can about this stuff, right? So just setting up automatic transfers and automatic buying of some of the funds is ideal. Charles Schwab, Vanguard are great. Fidelity is another great one. Brokers that you could do a lot of the things I talked about, and they offer pretty much all of these products minus the HSA. You want to also basically just be consistently investing in some form, right? But weekly is ideal. 25 bucks is fine to get started because it's much easier to just adjust that number weekly. So I've gone up to $150 for some accounts on a weekly basis, and then I have to bring it back down to 75. That's okay. Whatever works for you. The idea is just to be consistent with that. You want to avoid get rich quick schemes. Nothing like, you're going to get 50% returns in a year or something ridiculous, right? 8 to 10% in a year is fantastic. Don't let other people tell you different. And this, having these accounts, right, having this set up, having the money there, etc., that builds you wealth over time. That automatically will make sure that you are not getting late payments on your accounts, that you're not late 30, 60, 90 days, right? That you don't have collections, that they have to declare bankruptcy, right? There are some extreme cases out there that maybe something like this couldn't help you, but the fact that you have these accounts in place to begin with and some money there will allow you to build much higher credit scores and get you better credit products, get you mortgages, allow you to be invest and much more. If you guys like this, please subscribe, comment below. I reply to every comment and take care.